Hello, writers. Hello, friends. You know how, at the beginning of every episode of The Joy of Painting, Bob Ross would invite you to get out your oil paints, paint along with him? That's the idea for this series, too. So I invite you to get out your notebook or your work in progress or whatever you want to use and write along with me today. This is a chance to build a writing practice, to get some words on the page, and check in with your creativity. This is Writerly Mindfulness. I'm Amanda Corbin from Milestone Art Collective, and I'll be here every week as part of my practice to share 3 things: an entry point for getting words on the page, a simple mindfulness technique to help us settle in, and 10 minutes of writing time. The entry point is a prompt, an example, a concept, or something to get you thinking and hopefully inspired to get some words on the page. The mindfulness technique is a simple exercise to invite calm and stillness so our creativity can flow. Don't worry if you've never meditated before. It won't be anything complicated. And then the 10 minutes of writing time is an attempt to dip into the flow state. I like to think of it as unstructured, stream of consciousness style writing, where you're not censoring yourself, you're just getting it out, and you know you can always go back and edit later. Both writing and mindfulness are a practice, and the best way to learn a new practice is to do it. Rather than learning about it, try it. And practice being patient with the process. Because blank page can seem daunting. Whether you want to write a memoir, start a new short story, write a poem for a friend's wedding, or just process something difficult in your journal, that blank page can be daunting. But if you bring it down to the physical experience you're writing about and what it's like on a sensory level, you have your entry point for getting past that blank page. Luckily, we have sensory experiences all day, every day that we can draw from. In writing and in the day-to-day reality of our lives, the sensory experience of the present moment can bring us back to ourselves when we're feeling overwhelmed or disconnected. What does it sound, smell, taste, feel, and look like? Be human in this moment. And conversely, what is it like when you're closed off from the self and its sensory experiences? And then what is it like when something real gets through all those walls you've created around yourself? Mindfulness is paying attention to the present moment without resisting it or trying to change it. But that kind of presence doesn't have to be quiet and still and rigid. To force ourselves to sit motionless and force ourselves to be quiet can actually cause tension and anxiety because of that forcing. So instead, can we simply pay attention to what is? Just noticing, allowing things to exist as they are. If a thought or bodily sensation comes up that you don't like, rather than resisting it, forcing yourself to ignore it, allow it. And notice everything with acceptance and curiosity about what comes up. As an example, right now, my feet are cold. happens often, especially these days. It's February as I record this. So my feet are cold. Okay, what is that like? It's annoying and kind of distracting. Okay, what's that like? So my skin is cold and I can feel my shoes on my feet and the hard floor underneath. What else? Being cold is irritating. I don't like it. It makes me angry, frustrated, grumpy. Okay, so if I allow those feelings, where does that take me? Why am I angry? What is that anger like? Well, it's frustrating because I feel like I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about winter or cold. I don't like that either. Right. And if I hadn't followed that stream of thought, I wouldn't get to that awareness of feeling like I can't do anything about it. And of course I could keep going. Well, what does that feel like? What is it like to feel like I can't do anything about something? And then I can explore that on the page. This is just an example. If you continue to allow what is and are curious about what comes up when you follow that trail, the thoughts and feelings, just following that to see what happens, to see what unfolds. For today's entry point, I'm inviting us to put the sensory experiences into words and to allow the experience and be curious about them and see where they lead. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a practice. And in fact, when it comes to writing sensory experiences, it can be helpful to go quickly through the writing part, just jotting down words as they come. For today's mindfulness technique, I'm inviting us to try grounding. Last week, we used a deep breath to settle in. And you can always do that first to start. I think a deep breath is always good. Then I invite you to feel your body in the seat you're sitting in. Bring your awareness to your butt in the chair. That's what all writers need. Feel your back, backs of your legs, feet on the floor. Your body is supported by this piece of furniture where it rests on the floor. Beneath that is the earth, solid underneath. You can borrow some of that stability of the earth for yourself. To know that you're supported, you're held. And you can let yourself feel the physical sensation of resting in the seat on the earth. And that tells you you're supported. Physically grounded in the experience of the moment. Hopefully you're feeling calm and settled in, and we can start our 10 minutes. Remember, we're putting sensory experiences into words, allowing the experience and being curious about where it leads. Visual might be the most accessible sense to write about. What image do you want to paint with words? Would you start where you are and list what you're experiencing right now through your senses? Or is there a striking sensory experience that you remember vividly? Is there one you'd like to imagine? From any of the sensory descriptions that you've written, do any thoughts and feelings arise? Is there some deeper meaning to be found there? And that's 10 minutes. I hope you had some luck. But regardless, like Bob Ross says, every day's a good day when you paint. I'll be back here next Monday so we can start our week with a little creativity. Until then, I'm wishing you inspiration, peace, and practice.